All right, I think we are live now. I thinks. So let's see. There's a few things that are new. You can probably already tell just by looking at the screen. You guys can read your own chat now, so try to behave. Also, we recently got back from MACNA. That was the big trade show down in DC. And like easily the best part of the show for me was to be able to do a lot of meet and greet type stuff, and just talking to the different attendees. That was great. But we also were able to talk to some folks about possibly doing some giveaways. So in this particular live show, we got two companies. One of them is giving away 3 pumps, and the other company is giving away a protein skimmer. So as like the live stream goes on, we'll just do those pretty much like little trivia questions and things of that sort. So can you guys like hear me okay? Do I need to like turn up my volume or anything like that? Let me know. So I should probably go over the instructions on how to actually do this live show. I do this every single time, but I know some folks are new. So how this works is it's live on YouTube, obviously. The time is 3:01 on Saturday. That's Eastern. And you watch it both on YouTube, and then on TidalGardens.com, there is an entire section for the live sale. And that's where you can actually purchase the corals. Shipping is going to be either $39.99 flat rate, or it's going to be free for orders over $250. And in order to actually get the item, you have to check out with it, not just put it into your shopping cart. I know one person had some difficulties with that. You have to actually check out. So if you have to check out every single coral, no problems on this end. So let's see. Okay. So I guess we can just get started. So the first coral up here is a purple and gold Monty. The first several corals, all in this live show, are all going to be different types of Montipora. We've got, I think this is I mean, I know that some people on Facebook were requesting like plating Monties. This is one type of plating. However, it kind of doesn't plate as fast as like the orange ones do. So it might be a slower growing plating, but I think it has some very interesting coloration. Okay, so I should probably introduce the entire cast of characters here. The person that you are chatting with text-wise is not me. Obviously, you don't see my fingers typing. That's Robbie. He was not able to join us for MACNA, unfortunately. The person operating the camera is Matthew, and Nathan is actually visiting. So Nathan's from Nathan's tank fame, I guess. I've done videos on his tank a couple of different times. So hopefully you enjoyed those videos, and if you have any questions for Nathan, I'll have him chime in on some of that stuff. Oh, actually he's in chat, so I don't have to chime in on anything. He can just answer you guys directly. So anyway, moving on to coral number 2. Coral number 2, Matthew. All right, so this is a scarlet Montipora. This is an encrusting this is an encrusting variety. And one kind of neat thing is they actually have like blue little eyes. So the other question that I've got, so it looks like most people think that the audio is fine. That little thing that's showing the actual chat, let me know if it's not legible for any reason. There's like a slight transparency I have. I wasn't able to just green screen out the white background, unfortunately. So hopefully you guys can actually read that on stream. All right, next coral. This is a red halo Montipora. These guys, we had 3 of them available in the last live sale, and they sold out pretty quickly. They have kind of like this purple body, but as it extends towards the rim, it gets more and more like pinkish. So that's kind of like where that halo comes from. And they have like multicolored polyps, but most of the polyps are kind of green. Okay. Next up, number 4. So this is a Montipora setosa. We haven't had a setosa for sale in a really long time. There's guys that look like this, but they're an orange, and you'll see an orange a little bit later. Setosas are a branching variety, and they kind of grow in these really, really bizarre shapes. And their polyps, compared to other Montipora, are like really, 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 spaced far apart. But yeah, it's one of the more exotic corals. The reason why we haven't sold one in a long time was we had to grow these guys from like little tiny stubs, essentially. Okay. Number 5. It's an undata. I guess the interesting thing about Montipora undatas is it's just their surface. They have all these like weird little ridges and things like that. And almost all the polyps grow like in the valleys and none on the ridges. It's the cops. They found me. Anyway, number 6. Montipora digitata. Somebody on Facebook was asking for Montiporas, for specifically digitatas, so we were able to find one. Okay, number 7. This is a green plating Montipora. I kind of wish that it was standing on its face, so you can see it a little bit better. But yeah, I mean it's kind of like a duskier green colored one. So yeah, Daniel, I wish I was growing product here. No, so actually so I live in Ohio, and there's actually this this referendum, I guess, on an attempt to legalize it in Ohio. So we'll see where that goes. I don't even smoke, but I don't know. I kind of find the whole thing like kind of ridiculous that it's super duper criminal. But yeah, look, Ohio's looking to get in on that drug trade. Anyway, number 8. This is a mystic sunset Montipora. So sunsets are usually like yellowish and greenish, but mystic sunsets are red and blue. You can probably barely tell, but if you look at the individual polyps, each of those polyps, half of the tentacles are white and the other half are red. Yeah, exactly. It's either trains or sirens here. Or helicopters. We get a lot of helicopters. All right, number 9. Purple sand dollar Monty. Okay. Next, neon green plating Monties. So unlike the green plating Monty that I showed you before, these guys grow a lot more slowly. And they almost look like they're encrusting. Like this one here looks like it's encrusting. But they do form very, very flat plates, but they grow more slowly, I've seen. Okay. Number 11. This is a Montipora confusa. These guys have kind of like a brownish base, and as you get towards like the tip of it, it gets to that green color. When they get larger, it's a really, really, really cool looking colony because like I don't know, it kind of grows like nubby as well. It's like the growth form is quite different than most of the other Montes out there. Most of the other branching Montes, I should say. All right, next up, it's a red plating Monte. This is kind of similar to the orange plating that you might have seen before. These guys are a little bit like deeper red. Very fast growing. A lot of flow, a lot of light. Okay, 13. This is the Montipora orange. So you can see how it's different from the Setosa that we showed earlier, in that this is an entirely encrusting guy, except they do form like these really strange little bumps and things of that sort on its surface, but it still remains largely encrusting in that there's literally no branching parts that come off of this guy. All the UK people are chiming in, I see. I always thought it's super cool how there is like an international following for this channel, because, and I've said it in past broadcasts, but you know, these folks can't purchase anything, but they just like to come in for the chat and hang out and just like talk reef tanks, sea corals. It's super cool. And hello, Miss Saltwater Tank. So if you haven't seen Miss Saltwater Tank's channel on YouTube, definitely check that out. She does a lot of stuff with fish and like in general reef keeping stuff. And R. Holmes is in love. That's so cute. Okay, next up, number 14. So these are the green star polyps, pretty common coral. Actually, you know what? Now that we're done with the Montipora, I guess we could do our first giveaway here. So, like I said, that, you know, at MACNA, I got to talk to a few of the companies, and one of the companies is Cobalt Aquatics. Now, you might have not have heard of Cobalt, but you might have heard of a MaxiJet pump, which are like these little guys. Now, back in the day, they used to be absolutely incredible. They were bulletproof, they were super reliable. They lasted forever. You know, they had good power for their incredibly small size, right? And they were cheap. They were like, you know, $20-something. And then the company that was making these little MaxiJets decided just to change it up. And so there was like a new MaxiJet. And everybody was kind of like thinking, at least everybody in the hobby when I was around, was thinking, why are you changing that pump? It was kind of slightly perfect. So they came with the new MaxiJet. It's slightly different. So like when I'm talking about these pumps, it sounds like, you know, oh, these pumps are no longer made. But no, there's still a MaxiJet on the market, but it's not what it used to be. But what it used to be is now called a Cobalt. So I guess like some folks from that company decided to start up a new company called Cobalt, and they actually got like all the original manufacturing. Because like those pumps are like made in Italy or something like that. They're not made in China. And so the Cobalt MJ pumps are what the old school MaxiJet pumps were. So I will be giving away an MJ 1200 right now. So let's see. I'll pop up a trivia question here for you guys. In chat, list the gallons per hour of all 4 of Cobalt's MJ pumps. So the first person who chimes in with all 4 correct gets one of these pumps, and they retail for about $40. So the nice thing about these, you can use them for all sorts of different applications. It's more like a little utility, like a small utility pump more than anything else. And I use them on all of my calcium reactors to feed them. but you can almost like use them to as like as an active like water change device, even to directly vacuum stuff, because some pumps kind of like struggle with like debris and things like that. I've actually used these pumps to drain like a puddle of mud that was like on my property, like crazy stuff like that. They're so durable. So, Robbie, when somebody does give the right answer, the answers are on a little note thing. Just make a mental note of that. Okay. So, what number were we on? 16? 14. Okay. So those are the green star polyps. 15 is a Kenya tree leather. Super common, super fast growing. These things reproduce like crazy. I mean, it's a beginner coral, but they're nice. What was Bethany? Oh. Sorry, I need to like fix my screen here. Okay. All right. So, yeah, looks like Bethany Keeler won. Congrats. And sorry, we do not ship corals to Europe. I'd love to ship corals to Europe, believe me. I'd like to ship corals everywhere, but exporting is actually very difficult. The whole import-export, it's very costly, and there's a lot of regulation and paperwork involved, and that's not something that we do particularly well here. Okay, moving on. Number 16. We'll get there eventually. It's the neon green cabbage leather, which is sitting right next to the Kenya tree. Okay, just to give you a heads up, whoever wins this stuff, we will be the company will be sending it directly. So we'll have to collect your shipping address and whatnot. So anyway, that aside, number 17 is a neon green Nephthia. We're finally growing a ton of these. For some reason, they took a little while to get going in our tanks. Like, I remember when I had like my own personal aquarium, these things would grow like 2 feet tall. And at that point, I really wouldn't know what to do with it. And so I was hoping to have like a large sustainable culture of these guys, but it just took forever for them to actually grow here. But lately, we're finally getting some 2 foot tall colonies again, and getting plenty of these cuttings. Okay. Number 18. Blue Symposium. Whoever gets this guy, sometimes they take a while to open. For whatever reason, there's like a few corals that no matter what you do, as soon as you touch them, they want to stay closed for like a day or two. So after the shipping process, these guys are almost never that happy. So it could take like a week for them to open, but usually it doesn't mean they're dead. It just means that they're really, really, really upset. But when they do finally come around, it's a pretty fast-growing coral once it's in your system. Okay, next up. We've got a few different Cyastриas. This is one is that purple people eater variety, bright green base, purple polyps. We haven't had this one as long as some of the others, and the summertime is really rough on Cyastria because they tend to like really low lighting levels and shorter photo periods, neither of which are a summertime thing around here. So I expect that, you know, in time these will have like fully extended polyps as well. Like these polyps right now are actually in their closed form. Okay, next up, number 20. This is the green-eyed Cyastria. And so you can kind of see how these polyps look a little bit more open. The coloration, this is almost like the exact opposite of the purple people eater. It's like purple base, green polyps. Okay, next up. Our Harlequin Cyastria. These are probably my favorite in terms of the Cyastриas in coloration. They have got a purple base, yellow tentacles, but the inner part of the polyp is almost like this bright orange or bright red. Next up, it's another Harlequin Cyastria with a spaghetti worm, apparently. So that little stringy thing you see in front looks like it's got a little worm hitchhiker. They're harmless. They're actually like a part of a good cleanup crew. They usually like to hang out in the sand, and they just kind of like grab little bits of uneaten food and things like that float by. All right, next up, number 23. This is the yellow and green Leptastria. So we call it a yellow and green because obviously the polyps are yellow, but the base is green. So if you ever see this guy close up, the entire thing almost turns solid green. Okay, so K. Kim is asking if I were to buy a coral from you, would you ship on the weekends because I have school? We can do it for Saturday delivery. However, I think it's like $15 extra. Okay, next one up. It's another yellow and green Leptastria. All right, number 25. It's our purple tipped hammer. So this is an Australian variety. So the Australian hammers, they grow a little bit more slowly. They have what seems to be larger heads. And I think that overall they have like richer coloration on average. I mean, there's some Indonesian ones that are absolutely incredible, and you might see one such one later. But as far as like consistency of color and form, the Australian ones are kind of hard to beat. Now, the only issue there is that they grow very, very slowly. Like these in particular, they They reproduce by fission, so you kind of like start with a single polyp, it pinches off, and then you get two. That process, it takes like 6 months for us, whereas some of the other varieties, like Indonesian ones, they actually have buds at their base, so additional heads will pop up. So in that same 6-month time period, you might get like 10 additional heads rather than just one additional head. Next up, have a neon green hammer. Same, Australian as well. Let's see. So number 27 is the hybrid hammer. So it has that mix of that purple and green actually on the head. And you can kind of see just in the corner the next guy here, number 28. It's our sky blue hammer. Now, unlike the previous ones, this guy is an Indonesian variety, and so it does add additional heads very quickly. It's got like, anytime you find blue hammers, they're pretty special. All right, next coral up is gonna take a little while. So, okay, so the reason why the screen turns black like this is that we have to cap the lens, and like once we cap the lens, obviously it turns black, and move the entire rig over. Okay, so this guy is one of the craziest plate corals that I've ever seen. It's got like this bright orange splattered onto like a bright green base, and in addition, it's one of these plates that I think can be propagated pretty easily, because like the skeleton forms those like almost like these scales, and they can be broken off safely into like full colonies. Yeah. As far as fungia type plates go, this, I'm not sure if this is like what variety this is, or if it's even a tongue coral or something. But there's several different varieties of them. They all kind of have that similar behavior. I would put them on the substrate if I were you, because they're one of the few types of corals that are actually able to scoot off of your rock work if you let them. So if you were to place this high on the rocks, chances are it can like swell up like underneath it, even the flesh underneath, and slowly kind of just move around. So it'll basically end up on the substrate regardless. So just start it off there. And what I've also seen is that in the wild, these guys tend to be on more coarse substrate than like really fine sand. I always thought the finer the sand, the better, but it might actually be, the coarser the rubble, the better. All right, next up, number 30. This is a fuchsia plate. This guy is a tongue coral. And anytime you get into like the fuchsia-ish, reddish pink ones, they're pretty rare. Next one, 31. This is our purple and green plate. So you can see how, I had it on this piece of PVC that's kind of cut at an angle. And over the course of like the past hour and a half, it's already started to scoot off. Brom Bosman, I love ISIS. You do realize that like Google shares all of this information with like the federal government, right? Just throwing that out there. They're fully cooperative with your personal information. Next up, number 32, orange plate coral. And I should specifically say the federal government of the United States, the most willing government to actually kill its own citizens, and especially other citizens of other countries. But I digress. All right, orange plating coral here. Okay, next up. So we're gonna get into some Ricordia and stuff like that. I'll talk about that in just a sec. But I think I'll give away the second pump. So again, this is for a Cobalt MJ 1200. So actually, please give those companies a lot of love. I mean, it's like they didn't have to like donate anything, and they're not actually, they're not paying for this or anything. They're just giving away this stuff. So I mean, really, it's just for your benefit. So, please, if possible, send them an email, give them some thanks, or just say thank you in chat. They can read it. Visit their website. But for this one, you actually have to go to Facebook, and I am going to post a code onto their Cobalt Aquatics company page. And so the first person to type that code into chat will get it. So somewhere on that page, I've posted it. Once you guys find that and post and put it into the YouTube chat, we'll find it. So sneaky, I know. All right, what number are we on? 33. This is the blue Ricordia Florida. So here's a story about Ricordia. I was actually talking to a couple of different people about them, and it seems that in the wild, about a huge percentage of them are dead. Like, there was some weird hot water event that happened, like where like a large patch of water just built up heat, and got like hypersaline. And once that then kind of flooded into Florida, like hypersaline water is like, it's heavier, and instead of like like hot water kind of like rising to the top quickly, it just stayed down and just kind of coated the entire bottom of the sea there with this extremely hot water, like between like 80 and 90 degrees even, and it bleached out a ton of different corals. And the real concern was that like the stony corals were going to be the most heavily hit, but in reality it was like the Ricordia mushrooms in particular that got the most hit, and so they're very, very difficult to find now in many of those collection areas in Florida. So I kind of expect that the price of these are either going to go up or it's just going to be hard to find them, period. Because I guess there's not a ton of them being collected anymore. All right. Next up, It's an orange Florida Ricordia. Now, I wonder if that is just a thing specific to Florida or if it's throughout the Caribbean, because I know that you can find Ricordia Florida in places like Puerto Rico and stuff like that. So did somebody win? Yeah. So it looks like Kevin won. That's great. So send me an email. Just through the website with your contact info and your shipping address, and we'll get that out to you. This is like the second time that we've done like contests and stuff like that, but I think that this is by far like the most creative we've been as far as like you know, how to go about winning them. Usually it's like a really simple, silly question that you could look up in Google in 5 seconds. Okay, what number are we on? 35?
Yep.
Okay. Green Florida Ricordia. Hey Kim, off topic. If your anemone's foot ripped, what is the best way to heal it? Honestly, I don't think you can. I think that's like really one of the few ways to pretty much kill any anemone. Like once their foot gets damaged, I've tried to do like iodine dips and stuff. It hasn't translated to bringing anything back. Nathan, have you ever done that before? Saved an anemone that damaged its foot? No. No, sorry. Okay. Number 36. Have an orange Rhodactis. Number 37 is a paint splattered Discosoma. There's so many really interesting Discosomas coming up. There's one that's gonna be super expensive. You'll find it right away. But even ones that aren't super expensive are coming in with like some really cool coloration patterns and things like that. I've always kind of wanted to just make an entire reef tank that was just like all like Discosoma and Rhodactis just covering the rocks, and only have like a few soft corals, you know, coming up from that base. Because now there's like so many, you know, choices that you can fill out the entire bottom of a tank with. All right, next up, 38. Matthew. It's looking very blue.
The lights are slightly different.
Yeah. Is it really?
It's had fan or
Huh. You might have to change the white balance on it slightly. See if that helps.
really wish we never do that.
Okay, never mind. Never mind. All right, moving on, number 39. This is a green spotted Discosoma. So Ray Corvo, you don't have to do it for every purchase, but for some of like the items that go really quickly, you should, just because somebody else could just put that into the shopping cart as well, and then if they check out first, they would get the coral. Okay. All right, next up, number 40. It's a green striped Discosoma. So a lot of like purple and green alternating. Okay. Next up, 41. It's a little green ringed Discosoma. So I hope this shows up on stream, but sometimes Discosoma actually have little raised bumps on its face. This one does as well, but the interesting thing is it has a little purple ring around each one. So the little bump itself is green, but then right at the base of that little bump is a purple ring. Okay, 42. It's a blue spotted Discosoma. So it's got a red base, blue dots. And next one, I hope it shows up, number 43. Yeah, I was worried about the lighting on this one. See if you can dial up the exposure, Matthew. See if that'll help a little. Yeah, it's tough. So this guy, I guess you'll just have to take my word for it. It has like a kind of like a mauve pink base, but the little spots, they fluoresce like yellow, almost like a pinkish yellow. All right, next one, 44. It's a neon green Rhodactis. All right, so I promised that really expensive mushroom. Now, I haven't even taken a picture of this yet. I kind of, I had a really short list of like collectors that I knew that really like the really crazy stuff. So I kind of like just offered it to them on the side first. But I'll offer it on live sale before I even show it on any other social media here. Number 45 is our Aussie interstellar mushroom. So these guys are just completely nuts in that the entire face of it has these tiny little, orange dots. But amongst those orange dots, you get greens and purples as well. Like the actual dots are green and purple. Can you dial up the exposure just a little bit, Matthew? A little better. And believe it or not, so far, everybody that I've offered that mushroom to has purchased it. So we'll see. We'll see if the live stream likes it as well. And actually, the first one who bought it was Nathan. So anyway, because I hear him giggling in the corner there. Okay, so number 46. It's a red Discosoma. And like I said, there are absolutely awesome Discosomas that don't have to cost a fortune. So I mean, this solid red one. And it's funny that these two are side by side, because So the obviously the Aussie interstellar comes from Australia. Um, the collectors in Australia oftentimes don't know what is really popular in the U.S. market, so they might see like this super bright red Discosoma while they're collecting, and they will freak out and think it's like this is like the best thing ever, and they'll charge wholesalers in the U.S. like hundreds of dollars for the red mushrooms, and it's like actually those are kind of common, but yeah, it's aesthetically they're excellent, obviously. All right, number 47. So, I don't know if you can hear that on the mic, but you're gonna hear it pretty loud and clear soon, I have a feeling. We're supposed to get like a thunderstorm. Supposedly a pretty bad one, and I was kind of hoping to dodge the whole thing, but it looks like I'm not dodging it. It's like right on top of me. And the greenhouse is like super duper duper acoustic when it comes to rain. So you might have to bear with us on what it sounds like in here. Actually, Nathan, can you hit the light switch that's right in there? There's like a little no. It's like a paddle. There we go. Better. Now you can actually see me. I was like, it's getting super dark. All right. I haven't talked about this guy at all. Should I? I mean, I did a video on it. It's a Pseudocoronactis. It is a type of mushroom. They're extremely, extremely predatory, so you kind of have to watch out for that. But if you're looking for like that oddball piece, Pseudocoronactises are definitely pretty oddball. They grow gigantic though. This one here is probably like a little over an inch, inch and a half at most. However, the largest one that we've ever had was, I mean, this is a cutting of that large one, was about 12 inches in diameter. All right, number 48. In a second. Okay, so 48 is a wintergreen pipe organ. And let me know if you need me to speak up also, or I can move the mic even closer or whatever. So pipe organ, remember when I was talking about symposium earlier and how sometimes they don't like being shipped? Pipe organs can be very much the same way. I mean, they're nice and open right now, but after the shipping process, sometimes it might take a few days for them to open back up. So whoever picks this guy up, just put it in plenty of flow, lower light, and it might just take a few days. So yeah, if you have any complications, just let me know, but it's totally normal for it to not open in the bag for you. They don't like to be touched at all. So, okay, so acoustically, the storm sucks. But worse yet, I just hope it doesn't knock out my internet. Otherwise, this show is going to be real short. Okay, number 49 are Leonardos. I'm going to go through an entire section of zoas pretty quickly here. Zoas in general are fairly easy. They tolerate all types of different lighting. I mean, we tend to keep it into medium, even low light. But I've seen them in higher light tanks just fine. The only real issue is that they're susceptible to every kind of bug imaginable. You know, I've seen all different types of parasites. Some fish will eat them. I mean, I know like my fox faces in certain tanks. If I introduce like a new rack of zoas, they have no problem eating them. Things like that. Okay, next, 50. the ever popular Rostozoas. Robbie actually just brought in a rock of these in trade. I'm giving him one of my tanks actually. Like he's getting a 125-gallon tank for like a small rock of zoas. All right, 51. This is the red people eaters. I need to pay more attention to chat. I haven't been like reading it very much. It's like Robbie's doing such a good job with it. And you would think that since I'm like looking at my screen, that I can actually read it, but it's like super tiny on my little reference monitor here. All right, moving on. 52. This is a combo zoa that has both radioactive dragon eyes and eagle eyes on it. Now these are the Fiji varieties, so the Fiji ones tend to be a little bit brighter. There's as geographically speaking, they come from all over. There's some from Indonesia, there's some from Fiji, there's some from like Vietnam. The Vietnamese ones tend to be a little bit duskier. The Fiji ones tend to be the brightest. Okay, 53. These are Fiji hypercolor zoas. Sometimes they develop like this little weird like color mutation where their tentacles exhibit like different colors from each other. So like you might actually get a skirt that has like 4 different colors as well. And it's all pretty random as far as that goes. Hey, you know, one day I might have a Tidal Gardens Europe and send corals all throughout the EU. Who knows? I have no plans to do that right now, don't get me wrong, but never know. Weirder things have happened. Okay. So somebody's internet just went down. Is it their internet or is it my internet? Can anybody confirm that I'm still alive? Okay. Number 54. These are the King Midas zoas. It's always interesting to find stuff that's really bright yellow that actually fluoresces. It's more uncommon than you think. There's like yellow polyps, which are pretty common, but they don't fluoresce. It's just a flat yellow, whereas these guys actually glow. Nathan Gist, I am a Buckeye. And you're right, they're losing. I am a Wolverine.
I wasn't gonna out you.
Yeah. So, they're big football rivalry for those overseas that don't quite understand American hand-egg at the collegiate level. But these two schools don't like each other at all. At all. It's like gang warfare. So, number 55. These are the underworld halo zoas. You cannot see the halos on these, unfortunately, but the face of it actually has a red ring. So it's got like these teal colored tentacles, purple face, red ring. I just looked at your radar. Tornado warning to the south of you. That's awesome. Awesome. Okay, 56. These are the deep blue sea zoas. We thought that we lost these entirely for years. Bright blue face and like almost like a lemon lime colored fluorescent skirt. I don't know where we dug these guys back up, but I'm really glad that we still have them. For some reason I thought that they all had like either died or we sold the last one accidentally or something like that, but we rediscovered them. Okay, 57. These are our Green Bay Packer zoas. Speaking again of American hand egg, these are Green Bay Packer colors of orange and green. All right, 58. These are some Fiji sunburst zoas. I haven't sold any of these on our website yet, but they're pretty slick, I thought. You know, like just you get the weird, like different patterns on their face and stuff like that, and the color, it's super punchy. So Vogue Master, how many corals do you guys have for this live sale? Yeah, I got 140 total. And some giveaways. We're giving away 3 pumps and a protein skimmer. So the pumps are courtesy of Cobalt Aquatics, and the skimmer is from Simplicity Aquatics. All right, 59. Have some pink and gold zoas. This one here looks like it's got all of the gold flecks, but in past ones that we've seen, the newer polyp growth has like the pink little flecks on its face. So this one looks pretty uniform, but you know, as new polyps come in, that's where they get that pink and gold name. There's like 2 different colored little speckles and stuff. No multiples this time, Casey. Unfortunately, ran out of time to actually do some math. Number 60. We have the creamsicle zoas. Yeah, sorry, no shipping to Malaysia. It's just to the US. All right. Number 61. These are Caribbean rainbow zoas. Now, I listed them as Caribbean rainbows. However, I think I just might be mistaken. They might be Fiji. So don't take me at face value as to where these came from. But they do look sweet. And as far as like future sales, we try to do one every month. We'll see if we can keep to that schedule. And Anthony, I think it's only going to be for the US. I didn't check. I should have checked for the international folks. I'll see. If you happen to win it, you might be in luck. I'm not sure. 62. These for sure are Caribbean. I don't know what it is about Caribbean zoas, but I haven't really seen much or heard much of them. I mean, everybody knows about Paleothoa grandis. It's a very, you know, popular, like kind of iconic Paleothoa. However, the zoas from that region, I don't really see much about. And then they show up on the scene, they look like this. And I'm thinking, like, where have these been for like the last 10 years or something like that? So Vincent, we've done 2 giveaways already for the first 2 pumps. We've been asking trivia questions, and you win by answering the trivia correctly in chat here. What, Nathan making noise? Yeah. All right. Next up, number 63. We have our date night zoas. These in particular are looking really good right now. We're finally getting out of kind of like the doldrums of summer. Like summer just beats the heck out of our corals. I think it's like the length of the photo period or something. It just, a lot of corals tend to struggle, and even the ones that don't struggle color up poorly. So we're just now starting to see what fall coloration looks like on some of our corals, and this is like a prime example. I expect like in like the dead of winter, if when I do a show like in like December or January, you're gonna see corals that look a lot brighter. I'm expecting, especially SPS. SPS in the summertime look miserable. Can I sweet talk my way to win a skimmer? Actually, it's funny you say that because I think that somebody else here really wants to win that, and he's like not eligible because he's behind the computer. All right, number 64. Got some Smurfette zoas. Anytime you see something blue, like I said, it's pretty uncommon. We're seeing more stuff in more exotic colors all the time, which is nice. I remember when I started, there's two colors. There's like brown, and there was like green, and you're really lucky to find the green. And nowadays, it's like people try not to get green because there's so much of it. Okay, next up, number 65. We have our magicians. So they're called magicians because they have that little speckle burst right in the center of the polyp. So what do you think the root cause is for increased coloration in the winter? Honestly, I think it has everything to do with shorter photo period and less sunlight. When we built this greenhouse, I mean, we didn't know what we were doing because nobody knew what they were doing, really building greenhouses and doing corals. So, I mean, the idea was you are working with the perfect light on the perfect timer, and you get seasons and everything just perfectly. It's like the ultimate computer simulated, LED lighting system, right? And it's just not true. Like, the sun does terrible, 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 horrible things to corals, changing from season to season. So, if you ever see a lighting system that boasts the ability to change its lighting cycle depending on seasons or on like the current weather pattern at a certain geography on Earth, it sounds really good because they're trying to sell you a light. And I get that. It's like cat food. You know, when you see these ridiculous cat food commercials and stuff like that, where like they're serving cats like in fine china and stuff, in like fine crystal bowls. They're trying to sell you cat food. Cats don't make purchases, right? Well, corals don't make purchases either. People make purchases, and whatever little incentive or whatever little thing that they can use to differentiate themselves from another lighting setup, great, right? But for coral health, you really want ultimate consistency. You want basically like on, off, nothing changes. No weather, no lightning, none of that. So, yeah, just going back to, hey, we're going to get lightning. It's not good. It's just not good. So, really, I think that's the root cause of like any type of like fluctuation in color and in health with our corals. It's just because of just the sun here in Ohio. It's way too bright, way too hot in the summer. All right. 66. We've been stuck on that guy for a little while. This is our Fiji Bam Bam zoas. Super bright reds and yellows and oranges, not yellows. And I'm missing all the cool chat. Okay. 67 is our last zoa on the list. Some large cotton candy zoas. Cheap. All right, we're gonna take a short break here because I think that we have to move the rig all the way around. So in the meantime, what we can do is the third contest for the pumps. So again, the courtesy of Cobalt. And you know what, seriously, go to their website, check them out. I mean, it's really cool of them to do this because really I'm not actually getting anything out of it yet. This is just a straight giveaway for you guys. So, you know, they're doing right by Tidal Gardens Nation here. So, what I would like for you to do is in chat, tell me what are the 4 models of cobalt heaters? Find them, find them, find them. And what number is that? Is that 68? All right. It's the rain again, and it sounds like it's driving rain. So, oh yeah. Oh, yeah, that's gonna get loud. So, hopefully you guys can still hear me. But, we'll see. And we might have had a winner. Go ahead and check on that. No, we don't. Do we? No. Okay, now I think we have a winner. Okay, so for those waiting for some SPS, you are in luck. Because remember when I mentioned that thing about how the sun does like not so great things to our SPS? Acropora are probably the hardest hit, and we're just gonna go ahead and sell some mini colonies that we got. They will do a lot better in your tank than they will do out here. Some of like the aquacultured colonies that we have, aquacultured frags, they do really, really well, but they've been kind of like acclimated to our systems over the course of years. Whereas these are kind of like newer introductions. Good, so loud. I'll talk more closely into this mic here. So anyway, these colonies are roughly like 3-4 inches apiece. And some of them even have like crabs and stuff like that. So here's the first one. And they're just numbered. I don't know what the varieties are. When it comes to Acropora, I kind of don't know them down to the species level. I don't think a lot of people really do. So you kind of have to look online a little bit. Next up, 69. Number 70. Number 71. This guy's a little dark. And I wonder if this one is the one that has the crab in it. Or no, I think it's the next one that has a crab in it. We'll see if we can get that on camera. Okay. 72. I think this is the one who had the crab, but I can't tell. And like I said, I expect all of these to color up way better in your systems than they do here. I mean, come like December or something like that, these will look wonderful, but that's a little ways away. Okay, 73. I think this one is the one we call our frog skin Acropora typically. Okay, 74. I think as long as we package these guys up with enough air in the bag, they should arrive. Oh look, I can see a little claw. Yeah. Colony poking out. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, so some of these things do have those little critters in there. Okay, 75. This guy I expect will get a deep purple base with bright green polyps. It's one of those like oh, what do you call those? Like the bonsai varieties. That's kind of their typical coloration. Okay, 76. And 77. In a sec. Moving the rig. Have you ever thought about breeding crustaceans? Yeah. I think it's really difficult to do it. It's funny that you ask, because I was just talking to Nathan earlier today, and what the heck? So I was talking to Nathan today about like his tank, and he actually had hermit crabs spawning, which I've never even heard of happening before. Ray Corville, no. So you should only be charged $39.99 once. So you should select local pickup / live sale, and that's that kind of like zeroes out the shipping. So if you did do a bunch of transactions where you were charged $39.99 each time, we'll go ahead and refund you for that. A couple people, every time we do a live show, invariably they end up paying shipping like more than once, so it's no big deal. We'll go ahead and refund you for that. But if your order value is over $250, shipping is free. So Karen, there's a gift. So our website's kind of weird in that there's something called a gift certificate, and then there's a coupon code. So you kind of have to make sure like the gift certificate stuff is only in the gift certificate area, and then the coupon code. By the way, every single package of coral that we send out has a coupon code along with it that can save you anywhere from like $5 to like $30 on your next purchase, and so that goes in the coupon code field. So hopefully that helps clarify. There's not a lot of gift certificates outstanding, I don't think. So it's probably a coupon code. I don't know. Are we on 77 now?
Yes.
Okay. And 78 is next. Okay. Pink Stylophora. We're done with our acros. Luke Schnabel, I'm from Canton and will work for free. Get him a shirt. I think there's constitutional amendments against that. No, I'm kidding. Interns and volunteers, I know. Okay, pink Stylophora. So stylos look very similar to Pocillopora. You'll see a selection of both soon. Okay, 79. This is our yellow stylo. And we call this a yellow because the base skin is more yellow. The polyps themselves actually have a little bit of green fluorescence to them. Okay. So yeah, in chat, like, you'd be surprised at how many people get free shipping. I would say that on average, it's probably like 60% of the people that order from us get free shipping. And if you have, I mean, so we charge $39.99 for shipping. We actually lose money every single time we ship a package out. And it's not because of the free shipping part. Obviously, we lose money on that. But shipping itself is incredibly expensive. I mean, we get a pretty sweet FedEx discount, but if you're ever curious, just to get an idea of how much shipping is, go to FedEx.com and like just think of like a small box, like 10 inches by 10 inches by 10 inches that weighs like 4 pounds, and have it shipped from like your location to Ohio, let's say, and you'll find that that box next day air, because we ship priority overnight, is probably going to be about $60 to $80 depending on how far it's going. So shipping is crazy expensive even with a sweet discount. Do pygmy seahorses with gorgonians ever enter the hobby? Some do. I think some are endangered species, so some don't. Okay. Number 80. Neon green Stylophora. You can tell which way this frag was before we cut him and placed him here. You can see like the left side tends to have all the fluorescing polyps. Once you have this in your system, the whole thing will turn bright green. Okay, next up, 81. This is a rainbow Pocillopora. He's got a combination of like pinks, purples, and green. And like in the base there, how you see it, it's actually white. It stays that way. So all of those colors are against like a white background. It's pretty neat. Will you ever go to Reefapalooza, Orange County? I don't know. I've never been to Reefapalooza. I think the only thing that I'm strongly considering doing is traveling to MACNA, which is in San Diego this coming year. I won't be an exhibitor. The whole roadshow thing, it's an insane amount of work, to be perfectly honest, and I'm probably just going to be a tourist. It's a lot more fun that way. But I've got some pretty interesting ideas that might be fun for everybody, if I can kind of figure it out technically to do it all. But we'll see. Okay, number 82. Pink Pocillopora. I'm a big fan of this particular variety just because of its brightness. I like how bright these posses are. '83. This is our green Pocillopora. So you can see how it's similar to like a green Stylophora. And I don't know what it is, but sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to get used to what the polyps look like, how far away they are from each other, that sort of thing. Yeah, Michael, don't worry about it. We'll figure out the correct thing, because FedEx is pretty smart that way as well. So if there's any sponsors out there that want to fly me out to Orange County, I would love to go to Reefapalooza. Same thing with New York. I know there's a Reefapalooza there as well. So, yeah, any big show, I will take plane tickets and anything.
I'll drive to Reefapalooza in New York.
Oh, I was about to say, because like Nathan just offered to drive, and I'm like, you're gonna drive to Orange County? It's like I don't want to do that. I've done that once. It was when my team, the Michigan Wolverines, went to the Rose Bowl in 1997, and we won. I drove that.
That was so long ago.
That's so long ago. Everybody's like 1997. It's like, did you travel on horseback? What are we on? 84? Okay. So this is like actually a cool piece of bird's nest. It's like a. So sometimes we take these little tiny frags, and then we glue them because they're like super tiny. So we glue like maybe 4 on a plug rather than just like 1. And it turns out that one of these was not like the others. So you actually have a Panape bird's nest growing amongst a pink bird's nest, all in the same plug. All right, next up, bird of paradise. So, I know a lot of folks don't quite understand what it's like to be a Michigan like graduate fan / graduate living in Ohio. So we are roughly 3 hours away from Michigan, and in Michigan, going to the University of Michigan is like going to Harvard. So people like try to win arguments by saying, this is right because my friend went to Michigan and he said this, okay? When you travel that 3 hours and you live in Ohio, it's like if you say I'm a Michigan grad, that's like saying I just joined ISIS. That's what that's like here. I mean, it's worse than it's like you get villainized so hardcore. All right, next up. Yeah, these are the sympathy sales. Oh boy, pink bird's nest, $20. Oh boy. 87, orange Pavona. You can actually see the little tiny sweeper tentacles on this guy too. That's as long as they get. It just kind of looks kind of cool. And as far as like culturing like crustaceans and stuff like that, because I see some stuff in chat, I'd love to propagate, or I'm sorry, to like breed fish and crustaceans, except that our entire setup here is like 100% coral specific. So I would basically need like another location entirely that does the fish thing and the crustacean thing well, like the invert thing, because it is just not happening here. Oh yeah, Big Brother is watching. We have to watch out those ISIS comments. You don't understand. Like, I'm probably already on a watch list, and so are all my Facebook friends. So it's always funny when like people randomly send me Facebook invites. It's like you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. All right, next up, number 88. It's a freak hair Pavona. So this little frag has like bright neon green tentacles and a bright purple base. All right, 89. It's our golden Leptoseris. Number 90. Oops. It's a jack-o'-lantern. You can see it over my shoulder for a second there. Isis is a cool flower. You're thinking iris, or is Isis actually a flower? Robbie's shaking his head. I remember there was like some organization that was ISIS before Islamic State in Syria, um, and I think that they were like really kind of bummed out by that whole ordeal. Was it an Archer? Were they called ISIS? Whoops. Oh, good grief. All right. So anyway, enough ISIS banter. Number 90 is our Ultra Leptos. Or wait, 91. Ultra Leptoseris. So the Ultra Leptoseris is kind of interesting because it's got like this bright green eye, but that greenish yellow goes all the way to the edge. Whereas in the jack-o'-lantern, it kind of the orangish eye stays kind of localized to the middle of the polyps. Okay, number 92. We have a green Samacora. Oddball SPS. Not a lot of people, tend to collect these, but they're pretty neat. We only have the green ones, but I think that they actually come in different colors. So if I hunt down like a really exotically colored one, you guys will be the first to know, I'm sure. Okay, next up. It's a blue channeled Platygyra. I wish that we could put this guy face front, but it's in a heavy flow area, and we have a fox face that just likes to come and grab it from its side and pull it around. So unfortunately, you just have to kind of use your imagination. It's got purple ridges and a bright sky blue channel where all the mouths are. How about once we get to 100, we'll do the skimmer thing, okay? So the skimmer is from Simplicity Aquatics. So if you guys want to do some homework on Simplicity, now's the time. You get 7 corals worth of time to go research Simplicity Aquatics, and then we'll do the skimmer giveaway. Okay, Rain. No worries about the shipping. Like I said, we'll figure out the refund stuff later. Yeah, just when you're checking out, select local pickup / live sale, and that sets the shipping to 0. Okay, so next up, number 94. The next 3 corals are all the same. They're just different examples of them. Could you turn up the exposure a little there? I want to... Yeah, the other way. There you go. It was a little dark looking. What type of skimmer? It's a Simplicity DC-120. It's a newly launched skimmer they have that is actually has a DC pump. So this is number 95? 96. Okay, number 95 and number 96. Pinstripe Platygyras. So in the saltwater tank, you mentioned your foxface can be trouble with certain corals. Does he have a positive job to do? Yeah, actually foxfaces are the best herbivores when it comes to macroalgae. So any type of thing like a colourpa that might be growing out of control, it's going to stop growing out of control instantly because within an hour it's probably going to be all gone. They eat Valonia, like bubble algae. So any time that I run into any sort of macroalgae-ish problem, they're first on the scene. I have them in almost every tank, which kind of makes propagating certain corals difficult because they sometimes like to nibble on stuff. But it's only the new cuttings I'm noticing. Like if I just have a fresh cutting of Zoanthids, they'll mess with that. But if that colony of zoas has been in there forever, they don't seem to mind. They don't seem to bother, I should say. Okay, number 97. Sort of toxic green Platygyra. Purple ridges. It's kind of like a two-tone purple. There's like a darker purple and a lighter purple, and like these neon green centers. Okay. Next up, number 98. It's a yellow scroll coral. Now this one I just kind of liked because it grew in these weird like shelves. It almost had like some die-off like a long time ago in the middle or something, and then it reformed different plates. So it has like this three-tiered appearance to it. And there's that fox face. Probably gonna go mess with some other coral. Okay. 99. It's almost time for that simplicity trivia, so blow up their website. All right, 99. It's our rainbow trachea. This guy, to be honest, is a little shrunken right now. We moved him from a different tank, and he's not all that happy about it. So he's got like a mixture of about 4 different colors. He's upset. All right. It's that time, isn't it? Okay, so how did I even hear about simplicity? I kind of didn't at first. One of our wholesale suppliers is Clear Choice. Dry goods stuff. Clear Choice, and you can check out Clear Choice if you'd like as well. It's just like a single page, and they carry like skimmers and lights, like ATI, like high end stuff, right? And I don't know if like too many, because I know some stores watch this stream as well, and they can probably sympathize with this a little bit. But there's like, it's really difficult to find good dry goods suppliers sometimes. When we were setting up Advanced Reef Aquarium, like the sister company that does like the equipment stuff, we would run into certain companies that are like super duper old school. And you can kind of tell that Tidal Gardens and Advanced Reef Aquarium were kind of modern. I mean, like the very fact that you're watching like a live stream, that, you know, people don't do that stuff. Well, these companies were asking for stuff like, we want to see a Yellow Pages ad for your company and fax it to us. And I'm like, nobody uses the Yellow Pages. Like, seriously, nobody should. I mean, everybody I know takes Yellow Pages that they get and they just throw it away. So like, there's no way that like Tidal Gardens is gonna show up in like a phone book. That's crazy talk. And then a fax machine. I am old as dirt. Okay, I'm 39. I am almost 40 years old, and I have never in my life owned a fax machine because that is some dinosaur technology. So you're combining like this super duper old school advertising thing with this super duper old school like transmission of information, and it's like, I shouldn't be in business with this company. Fast forward, let's just say that I somehow set up this account, this fictitious account here. And it might even surprise you then to learn that sometimes these wholesalers, their wholesale price to a store is more than what you could purchase the same thing at like Bulk Reef Supply for retail. Like Bulk Reef Supply's prices are like really, really, really good. And it's and when you get your wholesale price list, it's actually higher than Bulk Reef Supply. So not good. So good wholesalers of equipment are worth their weight in gold, and that is how I came across Clear Choice, and they are launching a line of products, and Simplicity is one of them. So that's the story of Simplicity, and they are so cool as to be donating a $200 skimmer to you guys for free. and they'll be shipping it direct. So, much love to the Simplicity folks. Hit them up on social media, tell them how much you love them. So, the trivia question is, I want you guys to list all the products offered by Simplicity Aquatics into the YouTube chat. I want you to list them all. 100, right? 100. I know I chose that number for a reason. All right. It's our red sun Scolymia. $60. That's roughly wholesale. Okay, next up, we have our candy apple Scolymia. Now this one is like a borderline master. Now, people sometimes ask me like, what is a master Scoly? There's some that like insist that the master Scoly has to have like a ring of purple in it, and I don't adhere to that so much because I've seen other masters that don't have that ring, but have like super duper spectacular everything else. So like my litmus test is I look for 4 colors. This one has 3. So it's got like the reds, it's got the greens, but it's also got like a lot of streaks of purple in it. And sometimes, you know, as these get larger, they develop that 4th color. So sometimes you get like the yellow or something like that, or you get like orange and red. But anyway, we're just calling this one a candy apple, and because candy apple is usually just like the red and green, but it's got intense coloration. Love this guy. All right. What's up? Next up, 102. This is a white-eyed Goniastria brain. I see a lot of people answering the trivia. I wonder if that actually got it right yet. Somebody's won? Who's won? Michael Wiley. Congratulations. Okay, so we'll need to get so like Michael, if I don't already have it, send me your shipping info. Okay, Nathan's taking. See you, Nathan. Yeah. Okay, so where are we on? 103. Have our blood red Favites. This is just pretty much red on red on red, the entire colony. Once it gets really large, it's a very cool piece. Because like 104, they usually come looking something like this, which has like marbling of like red and purple, and usually like the red and purple guys we call like the scarlet and gray Favites, but this one just has like on top of all that the green eyes. So Olga, who actually decides how to call corals? You know what? That's a really good question. That's a really good question. Right now, it's like the Wild West. everybody goes out and tries to start naming stuff, okay? And it's a huge mess. You could find like corals on this live sale that are called something completely different. And I think that some folks are trying to intentionally name stuff uniquely just for themselves. And that's fine. They want to do their own branding. That's cool. I'm like on the exact opposite end of the spectrum. The last thing I want to do is to name something. And I do it for two reasons. Number one, I am out of creativity when it comes to naming. I don't have anything left in that gas tank. So I've forgotten more names than you can possibly imagine. The next thing is Google search matters. So if you want to rename an eagle-eyed zoanthid, a cosmic munchkin, or whatever, okay? No one's searching for cosmic munchkin zoas. They are searching for eagle eyes because that's a coral that's been around that people are familiar with. So seriously, if there's corals that have like really well-established names, I want to use those. So if at all possible, I try not to name things. Occasionally, we just run into unique stuff. We have to come up with a name. And our names are usually really lame, like ultra blank name of the coral. It's like boring, like super boring, because we want to show up in search. Anyway, 105. Midnight Princess Favites. Yeah, now everybody's asking for cosmic munchkins. All right. 106. These are the blue-eyed princess Favites. So Favia versus Favites. Favia tend to have larger polyps, and they grow like as slow as possible. They're one of the slowest growing LPS out there. Favites are much faster growing. Okay, number 107. Oh. This is our orchid Favites. Really cool, like almost like a very light pastel purple center, and that's kind of what's remarkable about this guy. Because a lot of times when you get that pastel color, it doesn't fluoresce. It's like it's just a matte finish, for lack of a better term. But this actually fluoresces purple, which is pretty amazing. Like a bright purple. Like you don't usually associate bright and purple, but it does. Okay. 108. It's our Christmas Favia. So you can kind of see the difference in polyp size. And I think this is our only Favia on the whole live sale. Just one. All right, and I know somebody was asking about Acans earlier, so let's get into it then. 109. This is an orange-eyed Acan echinata. This is probably one that we named because it's boring. Orange-eyed, and then the name of the coral. Like super descriptive, and then name of the coral. Four types of Acans, and they all fight with one another, so you don't place them next to each other or anything. Okay, 110. This is a rainbow-eyed Acan echinata. If you look really closely at the centers of the polyps, it almost looks like a little scoly. There's like a little candy apple. It's got like the orange. It's got the green. $111. This is our orange crush Acan echinata. Looks like about 4 polyps of it. Okay, so the next two, let's try to get both of these into frame. 112 and 113. So 112, real quick, is a UFO micromusa, okay? His buddy, 113, is also a UFO micromusa. Now, Actually, scoot the slider over just a little bit more, please, to the right. Perfect. Okay. Now, I've told you in past broadcasts that Micromussa can change color a whole lot. These two corals might actually be the same thing. We've just had the one on the left for years, and the one on the right we've acquired more recently and propagated and mounted. So you can kind of see like the age of the plugs, that sort of thing. There's a really good chance that the one on the right in our system will turn into the one on the left. So, yeah, they can really change colors. I mean, entire color palette shifting. So, whatever lighting situation you have, whatever nutrient situation you have, it's going to have a dramatic effect on this particular coral. So, it'll be interesting no matter what. Okay. 114. This is our first rainbow Acan Lord. The colors on this one are kind of subtle, but it does have like 3 or 4 colors going on. I'll leave it. Our door's haunted. Okay. 115. Up. We'll get there in a sec. So with Acan Lords, you can see that it's a much fleshier polyp compared to like the Echinatas. Echinatas tend to be flat. $116. Now this is our Ultra Rainbow Acan Lord. Probably doesn't need to be explained as to why that it gets its name. This is right now my favorite Acan that we have. It's got like 4 colors. All of them are super bright. And it's just very distinctive. Like it's like we keep it in these 300-gallon tubs, like these look-down tubs, and everybody's eye gravitates right to it. It's like easily the showstopper amongst all of its little cousins and whatnot. Very cool coral. Easily my favorite. The stream stopped there. Am I back on? I don't know. Am I dead? Are we good? Okay. I will continue. I'm going to assume that we still have a stream. Okay. 117. I guess this is the third type of Acan that we've covered. This is a blue and red Acan Bowerbanki. Bowerbanki is also flat, kind of similar to the Echinatas. Their polyps are the biggest of them, though. There's actually like 5 or 6 different types of Acans, but some of them are, they actually look like Mosseleia and stuff, if you're familiar with what that looks like. It's very, very, very large, and it almost looks like a lobophilia almost. Very un-Acan, like if you're used to looking at like Lord Howensis. So anyway, this is a Bowerbanki, and the reason why you don't see some of the other ones is like they're in like super duper protected waters. Like Acan maxima, for example, is only found in like Oman, and they have 0 export coming from Oman. It's completely impossible. Good luck smuggling in Acan maximas from the Middle East into the United States. I don't like your chances. ISIS. Okay, 118. All right, this is our bright green, neon green Acan Bowerbanki. It has probably like what, eight or so polyps. Very large piece. And thanks for the feedback, guys. Like, the worst feeling I have is like when my stream has actually died and I'm still talking like everything's normal, and then nobody can see it. So, thanks for letting me know. All right, next up, number 119. This is the red Acan Bowerbanki. Acan Maxima's how you get ants. Oh man, I got some comedians. Some jokes. Okay. 122 is a red and green Blastomussa. Blastomussa tend to be a little bit faster growing than Welsies. They tend to have smaller polyps as well. (123) is a neon green Blastowelsi. We have to dial down the exposure because I'm kind of losing the center a little bit. It has like a super bright green center, but I mean, we can't even see any of the detail. It's got about, I don't know, 4 polyps, one of which might be a little baby. Okay. 124 is a red Blastowelsi. So this one, I believe, is Indonesian. A lot of the other ones that we've seen come from Australia, and they tend to be like smaller polyp as far as Welsies go even. So the Welsies from Australia, they tend to have a polyp that's roughly an inch and a quarter at most. However, the ones from Indonesia, some of them are giant. Like some of them are like 3 inches across and stuff like that. So, like I personally, I kind of like the Indonesian ones a lot. They come in like a larger variety of colors too. I mean, there's some crummy Indonesian ones that are kind of brownish, but then you get like the crazy like red and yellow ones, and so I'm always on the search for stuff like that. Okay, 125. Lunar chalices. So 125 and 126 are both lunars. We're actually making somewhat good time. I mean, it's 4:53 right now, so we should be getting it done in just over 2 hours. Okay, 127. Our pink striped chalice. Kind of a cool combination of pink and purple, and we do have like the duplicates here. 127 and 128 are both pink striped chalices. (129) It's our red striped chalice. I said that, and then all of a sudden I feel thirsty, even though I've never even tried. So red stripe, for those of you that don't know, is it's a brand of Jamaican beer. I hear good things. I've never actually tried it. I've never tried it, but I've heard good things. I think the next one actually is also red stripe. Yeah, smaller one. Okay. 131. Okay, and gotta move it. It's gonna be a cosmic chalice. Hooray for beer. So that's funny. Like I really like beer and I really like wine, and I almost never actually drink. This is a little personal anecdote, I guess. I almost never drink, and it's not because it's like I'm opposed to drinking. It's just like sometimes I'll end up like sitting down and having a beer and realize that's the first beer I've had in like 6 months. Like super long stretches go by, and I just like, you know what? I haven't had an occasion to drink for that long. It just does not happen. All right, 132. 31, my bad. Actually, 131 and 132, they're both cosmics. So cosmic chalices, oh, it's gonna be real tough to see on stream, but their inner mouth area actually has like a little speckle, and as the polyp darkens, because these are a little bit faded from the summer, as they darken, it gets a much deeper colored body, and you can start to see those little white speckles go all the way out to the edge. Karen Taft, is TG coming to Cora next week? Unfortunately, no. We're having a picnic here. That was the only weekend that we could schedule a picnic, so unfortunately, I'm going to be here having barbecue. So I hope you guys have a good time down there at Cora. My regards to all the Cora folks. 133. This is the GoldenEye Chalice. A glass of amaretto in my hand at the moment. Like straight amaretto? Huh. So, okay. So Miss Saltwater Tank, she has a YouTube channel. And in one of her videos, she talks about phytoplankton in the reef. And when she opens her fridge to go get like the bottle of phytoplankton, like it's abundantly like noticeable, like very, very noticeable, that the only thing in the fridge was phytoplankton and alcohol. So everybody in YouTube got quite a kick out of that, I'm sure. All right, so we're at 134. This is a golden chalice. It fluoresces a bright yellow under like full actinic. Now, I've gone this long and I haven't even really talked about our lights. The lighting that we're using is a combination of 2 T5 fluorescent bulbs from ATI. One is like an aqua blue special, and one is a blue plus. And sorry, Ziggy Reptiles, we don't ship to the UK. It's just US only. But thank you very much for joining. Okay, next up, 135 and I believe 136 are both Insane Carnival chalices. I'd like to say that I didn't come up with that name, but I think I did. See, I suck at naming. I shouldn't do it. All right, next up. This is a Hollywood Stunner chalice. I did not name that one. And I don't get it either. Purple, green polyps, clearly Hollywood. No, I'm just kidding. All right, 2 left. So, one thing about chalices that you might see is that they're all very different from one another. So, the blue lithophyllin here, oops, I'm sorry. Yep, next, yeah, 138. The blue lithophyllin is also a chalice. It looks more like a one of like the plate corals, if anything. I mean, it's like down to the way the tentacles look and stuff, but it is considered a chalice. And let's see, 139. We have a Miami Lobo brain. And lastly, a second Miami Lobo. This one here has a few more polyps. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for joining us in our in our show. This is exactly 2 hours. Wow. That's an incredible time considering we have to do the contests and everything. So speaking of the contest, thanks again. Big thanks to both Cobalt Aquatics and Simplicity Aquatics / Clear Choice. So again, let those guys know. Hit up their social media. Do whatever you can. Let it be known that you guys appreciated their very generous donations. I mean, I certainly think that's added quite a lot, and we got 3 pumps and a skimmer out of it. So hope you guys enjoy. Anyway, that does it for here. Last minute question and answer period. Any last minute thoughts? And you know what? Thanks so much for the international crowd joining in. I mean, we only ship to the U.S. unfortunately, but no, it's crazy that there's so many different countries, people from different countries that tune in, and especially the Germans. Germany has a weird broadcast law where live streams have to go through their governing body, so they block all YouTube live or any kind of other online live thing like Twitch and all that. And for them to watch, they have to hack iPhones and stuff like that to get around that. They have to rootkit, whatever devices so that they don't get caught by the German censors to watch the Tidal Gardens live stream. So big love to all the Germans out there. So anyways, thanks again for joining, and see you guys next time.